Hi guys, it's Mackenzie and I'm here today with a very belated January through March wrap-up for 2019. So yeah, I've been kind of slacking on videos since I started this channel, but I actually really want to get into it and post consistently, and so I thought I would show you what I've read for the first half of 2019. I have another video that should be coming out in a couple days that is my April through June wrap up, and then I will obviously post a July wrap up at the end of the month and so forth. Actually do like monthly videos and stuff. So yeah, but here's the first 3 months of 2019, and I'm gonna just tell you what I read, what I rated it, my thoughts and stuff about it. So yeah, there's a lot, so let's get to it. So I read 22 books in the first 3 months, and we're gonna start off with January, where I read 11 books. So half of the first 3 months I read in January. I had a really good reading month. I really wanted to focus this year on reading a lot of books. I always set my Goodreads goal to 50 books every year, and I have never hit it. And this year, as of the date I'm filming this, like midway through July, I am 48 books in, so I only have 2 more to reach that goal, and so I'm really excited about how much I've been reading this year, and I'm just gonna keep on reading all of the books. So yeah, January. The first book that I read of 2019 was Amulet Volume 1, The Stonekeeper. This is a graphic novel series, and this is the first volume in the series, and it follows this brother and sister, and they just move in to this house that's been in their family for a lot of years, and their dad died, so they move with their mom back to this house, and kind of the adventures that start happening in this house. It's like a really cute fantasy middle grade graphic novel series. I've only read the first volume, but I'm dying to continue on, and this was just super cute. I really like the artwork. It's just super cute, fun, accessible. I don't love some fantasy, so I definitely love this one. Definitely check it out. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait to read the next installments. The next book I read is Back River Quiver by Alexa Riley. Alexa Riley is a duo of authors that are romance authors, and their pen name is Alexa Riley. I read 4 of their books so far this year, and they're all novellas, really. They're not really books. They're all 100 and something pages, maybe less, 90 something pages. I'm not really sure, but they all follow romance. They're super quick to fly through. That's why I read them. I got them as a bundle deal for $1 for 4 of their books. And yeah, Back River Quiver, it follows this girl. She gets lost in the Everglades in Florida. Is that what they're called? Everglades? I think so. In Florida, and she meets this guy, and he saves her from a crocodile or whatever, and it's their romance. Yeah, I mean, they're not good. I mean, they're just super quick, so that's why I read them, and I read them at the beginning of the year because I was easy way to get a head start on my Goodreads goal. I ended up giving Back River Quiver 2.5 out of 5 stars. The third book I read in January is The Book of Ivy by Amy Engel, and oh my gosh, I love this book. 5 out of 5 stars is fantastic. This is a YA dystopian it's the start of a duology, and it follows our main character Ivy, and she's from one part of town, and so the town is split into 2, and it's a rich side kind of and a poor side, and the guys from the rich side have to marry girls from the poor side, and then guys from the poor side have to marry girls from the rich side. So every year they have a marriage ceremony. They don't know the people, they just have to go and get married to this person on the other side of the tracks, pretty much. And so it follows Ivy. She's from the poor side. Her dad's dad rebelled against the rich side and lost, and so that's why they have this marriage ceremony all the time. And it's in the futuristic setting. The world has gone to shit pretty much. They have limited water, limited food, it's very scarce. She has to marry Bishop, who is like the president's son on the rich side, and she has plans to kill him actually because she wants revenge. Her family wants revenge for the way that the rich side of the tracks is kind of treating everyone and making their own rules and stuff. But it is so good. I did not give this book justice by describing it. It is so good. I loved it. The romance in this is phenomenal. Like, if you're really big on romance, but also like a little bit hint of like dystopian or fantasy or whatever, definitely read this. It is so good. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. This is definitely making my top 10 of this year. This and the sequel were fantastic. I want to reread this now, but I won't. And it's like a really quick, just fantastic book that I feel like flies under the radar. So definitely you should pick this up. The next book I read was Dirty Uncle by Alexa Riley. This is another one of those like novellas. Didn't love this either. I think I gave it 2 stars. Follows this girl and her like she falls for like her stepdad's brother. So that's why it's like an uncle, but they're not actually like blood related. There's an age gap, so that's nice if you like age gaps. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say. It's just like meh. I don't recommend them really. They were just like, they're really quick to read. The next one I read was also an Alexa Riley one, and that was Taken by the Russian. I think this is my least favorite. This is definitely my least favorite. I think I gave this a 1 star. This was like literally not good. I don't even remember what it's about. I think it's about, I think they're in like the Russian mafia or something, and this guy just like takes the mafia leader's daughter or something, but then they fall in love. I honestly could not tell you. It's been a while since I've read this, and it's not good enough to remember. I literally gave it 1 star. The next book I read is The Revolution of Ivy, which is the sequel and the final installment in the Book of Ivy duology. This was just as good as the first one, 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know which one I actually like better. I think I slightly like the Book of Ivy better, but they're so close. It's like, it won't even matter. They're both fantastic, in my opinion. This was just so good. I have been like wanting a good YA, like dystopian. I really like it, dystopian novels, and they've kind of been like sucking and kind of gone out of the limelight the past couple years. But this one like really brings it back to like the roots of YA dystopian, like the good stuff, and it's just so good. I obviously can't tell you what this is about because it's a sequel, but it's so worth your time. Please read it. Ivy and Bishop, the 2 main characters that like have to get married in the first book, are 2 of like my new all-time favorite characters for very different reasons, but they're both just such strong characters, and they just deserve so much more, and everyone should read these. They deserve all the love and attention here on BookTube. So good. 5 out of 5 stars. I am just gushing. I'm not even telling you anything of importance. I'm just gushing. So yeah. The next book I read was Radiance by Grace Drevin. I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry. But this is the first book in an adult fantasy series. Like adult romance fantasy. Like it's mainly like new adult romance in a fantasy world. And it's really good if you're into the romance genre and you're looking for a good romance that's actually fantasy based. This is a very good one. I gave this a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it follows this girl from one kingdom, and she has to marry this guy from another kingdom, but one of them isn't like a human. I'm forgetting what they actually are, but like they're different species, and so like, and both their species finds the other species really unattractive. So that's really funny, like at the beginning, because they're like, oh god, I'm marrying this like gross looking person. And yeah, and so she has to go move to his kingdom, and they've just gotten married and they don't know each other. It's like a marriage for politics, you know. And I love marriages, like forced marriages that like they have to work out of, obviously, as you can tell by the Book of Ivy, and now this, they both follow arranged marriages where like the characters have no say. I just think it's a really, like, that's a trope I really enjoy. And this one was so well done and so good for like a new adult romance that's a fantasy. Really loved it. The only thing is that the parts I didn't like the best were the fantasy elements. I just like didn't super care about like the kingdoms and stuff. So yeah, and this is actually the start of a series, and I'm not gonna continue. I really enjoyed this book as like a standalone. I think you can read it as a standalone, and I have no desire to read more in the series. I felt like I got a really nice story that I wanted in this chunk of time, and I don't think I'll be continuing. I mean, maybe one day if I like feel the need to revisit these characters, I will, but I feel like it's gonna get more into like the fantasy worlds in the next books, and since that was my least favorite part of it, I enjoy my romance heavy fantasy that I read of this book. And yeah, it was super good. 4 stars. If this sounds up your alley, you're probably gonna love it. It's one of the best romance fantasy books I've read. The next book I read was Her Halloween Treat by Tiffany Reese. I don't know how to say that either, I'm sorry. This is like the start of a companion series, and it's like Her Halloween Treat, and then there's like a Thanksgiving one and a Christmas one, but they follow different characters. I've only read Her Halloween Treat, and I didn't love it. I just thought it was really boring. It's an adult romance that follows this girl, and she lives in like LA, and she just got out of a really bad relationship where the guy was like cheating on her and stuff, and so she has to go back home for her brother's wedding to like her hometown, and she sees her brother's best friend and who she had a crush on when she was like younger, and they kind of start something. So yeah, it was just really boring. I thought like it wasn't anything super original. It was just meh. Like there's no like problematic things, I think, now that I'm thinking back, but just was super boring, and I wanted like more of the Halloween feel. I don't know. So I gave this 1 star. I think some people will like this more than I did. I was just not, it was not what I was expecting. Like I really wanted more atmosphere and more, I don't know, just like more character development. I just wanted it to be better and not so boring, so 1 star. The next thing I read was Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is her like short story novella that she posted this year, and it was like free on Amazon, so I bought it. I have not read any other of her books, but she's a very beloved author here, and I really want to read her other books, especially now after reading Evidence of the Affair. This short little book was so good. I gave it 4 stars. I would have given 5 stars if it was longer and more fleshed out. I loved it. I think about this story so often, and I read it in January, and it was so short, and it just really left an impact. Like I just really liked it. It follows this woman, and she's writing to this guy. She's like writing letters to him because her husband is cheating on her with the guy she's writing letters to, wife. So both of their spouses are cheating on them with each other. Does that make sense? Probably not. I'm sorry. But pretty much both their spouses are in a relationship, an affair with each other. So she's writing to him, telling him like, hey, like my husband is sleeping with your wife. So yeah, and they kind of develop like a pen pal about that experience and how they're feeling about it and what they're gonna do about it, kind of thing. And it just follows their letters, and it's so good. Oh my gosh, guys, go read this. I don't know if it's still free on Amazon, but if it is, what are you doing? Go read it. It'll literally take you less than, like it'll take you a day. It took me, I read it in 1 sitting. It was so quick. Maybe took me 2 hours max, maybe, if that's like distracted probably. So good, and you'll just really like the characters in this and the way they progress throughout this little short story. So yeah, 4 stars, super good. The next thing I read was It Ain't Me, Babe by Tilly Cole. This is a first book in a Motorcycle Club series. The series is called The Hades Hangman, I think. The main guy love interests are in the motorcycle club, and then the first 3 books, I don't know after that because there's a ton in this series, but the first 3 follow girls who were in a cult. So the first one follows the president of this motorcycle club and one of these girls who was in a cult and ran away. And yeah, it was super interesting actually to read about like the cult things. I actually learned a lot about cults, and it was super just weird and fascinating kind of to read about the crazy stuff in that. Yeah, I like motorcycle clubs a lot, so that's what initially drew me into the story. Honestly, the romance was like my least favorite part probably of the novel. Like, I really enjoyed reading about the motorcycle club and the cult, but the romance was just like, it was good. And like, I was just like, that was a good book. I gave it 3 stars, so it was a good book. Not great, not bad. Guys, the next books I read were the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. There's 4 books in this series. They're all like companion series, so they each follow different characters, but they all follow these 4 guys who are on the same hockey team at this university. And there's the first one's The Deal, the second one's the Mistake, the third one's The Score, and the fourth one is The Goal. And I read The Deal. The Deal was the last book I read in January, and then the other 3 I read at the beginning of February. I literally all read these in like 2-day spans, which is insane. I'm constantly busy. Like, I don't have time to read books in a day or 2, but I just binged this series. It was so good. Yeah. The Deal is the first book, and it follows Garrett, like the captain of the hockey team, and this girl who's like a music major. Her name's Hannah. I loved their romance. It was so good. They have like a fake dating plot, which I also is one of my favorite tropes. Love fake dating. And yeah, they're fake dating to like make this other guy jealous because she's into this other guy, but they actually end up like liking each other. So good. Actually, they had some like dark, deep topics discussed, and I thought it was discussed really well, and it was just really good. I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in my top 10 of the year. Like, I loved this series, and The Deal I think is my favorite of the 4. The second book is The Mistake, which follows Logan, who's Garrett's best friend, and this girl Grace, who they kind of have like a one-night fling kind of thing, and then he like messes up, says something stupid, and then he like tries to win her back throughout like the next coming months, and it's just, that one's really cute. I think this one is actually my least favorite, but I still gave it 4 stars. These are still all amazing. You need to read them all. But yeah, 4 stars. Super cute as well. I really like the just dynamics between all these characters. Like, all the characters I feel like fit with each other. So cute. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I love the hockey elements in this. I love sports romances. I'm an athlete, so I love sports. And I just really like hockey too, for some reason. The best sports romances are always hockey. And then the third book in the series is called The Score, and it follows Dean, who is like the player of the hockey team. Like, he just sleeps with everyone. And it follows Allie, who's Hannah from the first book's best friend / roommate. And so, yeah, it's kind of their dynamic in this one. Super cute. I love like their banter almost. It almost feels lighter, even though it does deal with dark topics as well. It does feel lighter and super cute, fun. I gave this one 4 stars too. Awesome. And then the 4th book in the series is called The Goal, and it follows Tucker, who's kind of flies under the radar a lot of times, and this girl named Sabrina, who's like super smart, super like independent, strong female. She is going to law school in the fall, starting law school in the fall. She's super smart, and they end up having like a one-night stand, and she ends up pregnant, and it follows that. I love this one too. I gave this 5 stars. This is my second favorite after The Deal. So good. I love their relationship. Tucker is like the best. I just love him. I love him. And I just thought it was like such a cute story as well. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this series. The series is the best like new adult romance I've read in a long time, I feel like. So, and I binged it and it was so good. So good. So definitely check out that series. As a series overall, I would give it 5 stars. There's 2 5 stars and 2 4 stars individually that I rated it, but so good, so worth your time, so quick to read. Definitely check them out. The next book I read is The Chase, also by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Briar U series, which is a spin-off of the Off-Campus series that I was just talking about. And this one follows Dean from the Scores' little sister Summer and another guy on the hockey team. And yeah, I didn't love this one as much. It really all came down, like they're all super fast, addicting reads, and I love the hockey elements of the story. But this one really came down to the characters of the 2 main characters. I just didn't really love them. Like Summer especially really was just like annoying to me. Like she just was like a walking contradiction, I felt like. So I don't know. It was still good. I gave it 3 stars, but definitely like my least favorite of all the Elle Kennedy off-campus Briar U books I've read. So 3 stars, but definitely check it out because the follow-up of the Briar U series gets way better. So the next book I read is really exciting, and it's Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 3rd and final book in the, I think they renamed it to the Shadow and Bone trilogy. It used to be like the Grisha trilogy, but I think they renamed it to the Shadow and Bone trilogy because now Leigh Bardugo has like this whole Grishaverse, blah blah blah. I'm not really sure. I've only read this trilogy so far, and the only reason I read this trilogy was because I own Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and I so want to read those. Like, I'm so excited to read those. So it's taken me forever to read these, but I'm finally done, so I can read Six of Crows now, and I'm so excited. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed Ruin and Rising. I think my order of like series, I liked Shadow and Bone first, then Ruin and Rising, and then Siege and Storm, which I know is like the unpopular opinion. A lot of people love Siege and Storm and don't really like Ruin and Rising, but I gave this 3 stars. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm actually not a huge fan of this series. Like, I find it very dull and kind of boring, and I don't super love all of the characters. So I was really unsure, especially after Siege and Storm, because I didn't really like that, if I was going to continue on with this. And then I decided, like on a whim, to pick up the audiobook of Ruin and Rising, and I'm so glad I did, because the audiobook made it so much easier to read these stories. Like, I definitely recommend the audiobooks, especially if you have trouble getting into the series. I love the audiobook. Ruin and Rising I thought was actually a really good conclusion. I really enjoyed it, and I know I'm like the unpopular opinion here. But yeah, so I finally finished it. It follows like this girl, she finds out she has powers, and then this guy named the Darkling, who's like the villain. I'm sure you heard of the Darkling, everyone likes the Darkling. Like tries to get her on the dark side kind of thing. It's fantasy kingdoms. I suck at describing fantasy stories because I just don't remember all the details. But yeah, 3 stars. I really liked the characters more in this book. I felt like I finally got like a full character arc kind of thing. And yeah, so 3 stars. I'm glad I finally finished the trilogy. This one was definitely worth it, especially since I didn't love Siege and Storm. I definitely love this one, and I'm excited to read Six of Crows, which is the main reason why I read this. So yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is Heart Recaptured by Tillie Cole. This is the 2nd book in the Hades Hangman series. Yeah, this is the one after It Ain't Me, Babe. This follows another, I think it's the vice president, yeah, the vice president of the motorcycle club and another girl that was in the cult. And this book kind of got dark, honestly. Like, it was intense at points. Very, very intense. Yeah, I actually like this romance better than the first one. This one was definitely better than the first book. yeah, I can't tell you much of what happens because it does follow like the events of the first one, but just more craziness with the motorcycle club and the cult, and things are just going crazy. I actually really like the romance of the vice president and this girl. This girl's like really sheltered and honestly is very brainwashed still from the cult, and he's like kind of a player, but then once he meets her, his like whole life kind of changes. He's like put in his job is like to like bodyguard her almost, and that's how they all spend their time together, and they slowly start like learning more about each other and liking more and more about each other. Yeah, so I really like their dynamic. I gave this a 3 stars too, but it's definitely better than the first book, so that's promising, and I think I'm going to continue one day with the series. I just kind of pick it up whenever I'm feeling for like a motorcycle club story. I just pick it up, and they're quick reads, and I do like the characters, and actually the characters that the 3rd book is following, I'm really excited to read about, so I don't know when I'm gonna get to that, but I really want to get to that because I like those side characters, so yeah. The next book I read is The Risk by Elle Kennedy. This is the 2nd book in the Briar U series, the spin-off of, you know, the off-campus series. This is the last book that's out currently of the Briar U series, and this one follows actually the hockey coach's daughter, and she's falling for a guy on a rival hockey team. I love this book. Also, there's a fake dating trope in this as well, which of course I'm just trash for, so that's why I love this one as well. I just really liked the main character, the girl. She was awesome, and the guy. They're both very good characters, and I liked their relationship. They had really good chemistry, and yeah, I kind of like the enemies, because they're like enemies to lovers too, which is just great. It has all the good tropes in it, definitely. So you definitely need to read The Chase just to get to this one, and I'm so excited for the next book coming out this year, like in like September, I think, called The Play. I don't even know who it follows, but I'm so excited. Anything Elle Kennedy writes, apparently I'm trash for. In this series, I'm trash for. So I gave this 4 stars. So good, and I just love this series. I love me a good hockey romance. The next book I read is Tangled Like Us, which is the 4th book in the Like Us series, which is a companion to like a spin-off series to the Addicted series and the Calloway sisters, which are by Becca and Krista Ritchie. The Addicted series follows Lily and Lo, who are both suffering from addictions, and that's like a very popular adult series. And the Like Us series actually follows all of those characters from the Addicted series, their children. So the Like Us series focuses on those people's children. Now they're adults, and it's their romance stories. Yeah, so this one follows Jane and her bodyguard, and it was just, honestly, it was my least favorite of all of the whole series. I think I'm at like, oh gosh, I don't even want to think about, this is probably like my 9th or 10th in this series. Like, there's so many that are out that I've read, and this is probably my least favorite, and I was really, really bummed because, I mean, I gave it 3 stars. It's still a good book, and I'm excited for their next book too. And I'm going to keep reading, obviously. I love this whole family. It's fantastic. But this one, I just honestly wasn't feeling the romance as much as I thought I would. And which is really a bummer because I liked the characters. Like, they were introduced as side characters in the previous books, and I was really enjoying them, and I was really excited for the story, actually. And I was just like, felt it was kind of meh. Like, I didn't really feel it that much. The connection was just okay. And I was really bummed. It was just a letdown, really, all of the above. It was just not as addicting as the rest of the series, and I didn't love the characters as much as I loved the previous characters, so yeah. I am excited for the next book, though, to see if it does get better, and I'm hoping it will get better, so yeah, 3 stars. The next book I read was Ruined by Amy Tintera. This is the first book in the Ruined trilogy, and this is a YA fantasy series that follows a girl from one kingdom that has been like, that has magic and has been taken down by a different kingdom, and so she's one of like the only ones of the ruined left, and she goes like undercover as this princess from another kingdom to go and marry her enemy kingdom's prince. So yeah, also like to go kill him kind of thing. She's trying to like overthrow them and kill the sun, and yeah, it was just okay. I mean, the plot sounds really good, but I just don't think it was super original, and I didn't love the characters. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with this. It was 3 out of 5. It was good, but it just wasn't like that compelling, and I don't feel that compelled to read the next one. But I kind of do because of the way this ended. So I just don't know. If you've read this, let me know if you think the sequels are worth my time, because I don't know. But it was okay. It's nothing new. If you're looking for a new, like, good YA fantasy that like breaks boundaries and stuff, this isn't it. But if you're just looking for a YA fantasy, run of the mill, you like YA fantasies, just want to read another one, check this out, maybe. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. I have so many mixed feelings about this. And then the last 2 books I read from January to March were the Prisoner and Hostage. They're part of the Criminal and Captive series. These are the only 2 books out, and I don't think they're planning on writing more. I don't know, maybe they are. I hope they are, because I loved this series. It's so good. So Prisoner follows this guy who's in jail, and this girl who's like teacher. She's a writing teacher. She comes and teaches them writing. That's it. So she comes in and like has writing class in the prison, and he ends up like escaping with her like as the hostage, even though this book's called Prisoner. And like they have to like run away together pretty much, and it's kind of like their romance. It's so good. It's a dark romance. If you're not into that, don't check this out, because it's pretty dark. But I loved it. I gave this a 4 stars. So good. Definitely check it out if you're into dark romances. These books are written by Skye Warren and Annika Martin, and they're just so good. Hostage follows, so the guy from Prisoner is has like a group of guys that are all like, I can't really go into detail with it because it kind of spoils things, but they're all they met as kids, and they're like still like, they're like a brotherhood almost, that have been through like a lot of things together, and they stick together through thick and thin, through everything. They like live together, and just they have to like be together to function pretty much. And so it follows one of his like brothers in Hostage, and he's the main character now, and it follows this girl who's like 16 years old, and he like takes her hostage after she sees him kill someone at her birthday party. And so yeah, it follows them. I love this one even more. It's so good. I love the characters. I love their dynamic. I really like the main girl character in this. I thought she was like kind of mature for her age. I mean, she's only 16 at the start of this, and you really see her mature. She starts out very immature and like a rich kid who's just like hasn't really been out in the world very much, but then throughout the novel she really grows and matures, and I just really liked their romance, and I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. Definitely was not expecting to like this duology as much as I did, this companion duology as much as I did, but so worth it. Definitely check it out if you're into dark romances, or if you want to try a dark romance. Yeah, this was awesome. And I've heard really good things about Skye Warren too, so I really want to read some of her other books now, because this was fantastic. Okay, we made it. That was my January through March wrap-up of 2019. So I read 22 books, I think I said, in those 3 months, and I read 11 in January, 8 in February, and 3 in March. So yeah, I had some really good ones actually in there, some gems, some ones that are definitely going to make some top 10s of the year. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and you're now almost caught up to what I've read this whole year. So I appreciate you sticking through this heck of a long video, and I will see you soon with the April through June reading wrap up. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.